So, a very big topic in music production is obviously sound design, and we all need nice sounds. It's not something that is optional if you want to create good music. You just need a good sound selection. It doesn't mean it has to be complex or whatever, but basically, I'm just going to go over the differences between why you would want to purchase presets versus learning sound design. And obviously, a combination of both is ideal, but there are reasons for both, so I'm going to go ahead and get into that in this video. And if you do learn something or like this video, go ahead and leave a like and comment below. So obviously learning sound design sounds like a good thing, and it definitely does help for production in general, because knowing how to create sounds is obviously going to give you an advantage over someone that doesn't know how to create sounds. But there are benefits to just buying presets or to leaving the sound design to other people in order to compose, which is what you do as a producer. So some of us are in different stages of the learning curve of production. So I kind of want to go over why you would go the preset route and why you would go in the sound design route. Most of us are going to do a combination of both in order to achieve what we want in our music, but hopefully this can help you understand the benefits of both and kind of decide which one is better for you at this current stage that you're in. Like I said before, sound is a very important part of music production. We need good sounds in order to create good sounding music. Obviously, you're not going to make a hit with shitty sounds or with corny sounding sounds that came with Ableton Intro. I mean, there are good sounds and good plugins available for you, but typically you would want to be able to go further than basic intro level sounds that come with your program. Learning sound design will allow you to create things off the top of your head that you want, and the more you practice it, the more you will have experience and be able to create certain sounds and certain textures that you want in your song. But also, it doesn't guarantee that you'll be able to create everything instantly just from hearing it, because it's just it's different from something like formulas or math or whatever, where you can create a certain output, a certain graph using a formula. It's abstract, it's art, so it's gonna take some sort of inspiration to come up with certain sounds. There's not an instant gratification to learning sound design. It's very time consuming in most cases, especially when you don't know what you want or how to create that sound necessarily. If you're doing something or some sort of genre that requires very complex sounds and it's very sound dependent, such as dubstep or drum and bass, or those kind of very complex, obviously they have complex sounds in them, then you're going to benefit, and actually it would help you more than other producers to actually learn sound design, because you'll be able to stand out from your whole crowd. Whereas if you're something like a hip-hop producer or a R&B producer or instrumental beat maker or whatever, then sound design obviously is not going to necessarily help you, especially if it's just for basic sounds, which you can get through presets. Now, the benefits of having presets is that they are saving you time in the long run, because you are leaving the sound design to other people that are professionals and that spend all their time doing that, and you get to just compose and do whatever you need to do within your program, and you don't have to worry about the design part of things. It's all just there, and you can scroll through it, browse through hours worth of inspiration from other people. They spent hours just creating for you, and obviously it's going to cost some money because it is time, but then again, you're saving time for yourself, and you can have a higher output than if you just don't have sounds at all and you have to do the design yourself. It's kind of like creating an album, and then you have to do the graphic design for the cover. You have to obviously have the music, and you have to have an artist on there. If you're doing everything from the production all the way to the art, it's going to take you months to create something that's actually good. Whereas if you leave the production to producers, you can get all your beats within a few hours. You can contact a graphic design artist and they can create the cover for you, a quality within a few weeks. And as well, you're able to focus on being the recording artist and get that done as quickly as possible, which isn't possible by yourself, obviously. Overall, learning sound design is going to be helpful, but it is also beneficial to have presets because there is no use in reinventing the wheel. And what I mean by that is that a lot of sounds have already been made by other people. A lot of preset packs already have very similar sounds to what you may be looking for. And it just takes a simple search or searching, for example, trap packs in Serum or trap preset packs for Sylenth or for Ableton, and you can go ahead and find very similar sounds to what you're looking for. Reinventing the wheel would mean spending a lot of time remaking those or figuring out how to make those when they're available to you online. Another reason why sound design is going to be inferior to presets is that once you start knowing a lot of things, you kind of get this know-it-all kind of where you kind of get very bored with a lot of sounds. Oftentimes, simple things can sound good to an audience, and it doesn't have to be too crazy to be appealing to a lot of people. Some of the most mainstream songs have been very simple, obviously, and as producers, a lot of us have experienced this, but certain mainstream songs or things that are very popular may be boring to us as producers because we're able to understand how it was made and we have trouble hearing the whole full picture. We hear every individual sound, so it doesn't sound as good to us necessarily. Same thing happens with sound design. Basically, very, very, very viable sounds that could work will often sound boring to you or not good enough, and it's kind of like a false illusion, a kind of an illusion just from knowing so much sound design that things start to sound boring and you're just more tempted to do more complex kind of things that may not be appealing to most people. So a lot of hip-hop producers don't do a lot of those beat producers that you see don't do much sound design at all. They just have a lot of presets. And what that allows them to do is focus on the emotion and the whole core of the sound, the whole sound, rather than hearing every little part of it and being distracted by all these little elements and little details. They're able to hear the emotion of the sound and determine whether it's fitting to what they want to make within their music, and that allows them to be very in touch with their audience, which is mostly people that don't produce, that don't know sound design. So they're able to have that kind of a point of view, which is very crucial for being a successful producer. Imagine knowing everything in real life, and I'm talking about everything. You know what's going to happen in 10 years or 15 hours and 21 minutes. Like, imagine knowing everything. Life would get depressing, or it would get boring. It wouldn't be exciting. Same thing with sound design. If you knew everything, or if you learned sound design down to the last details, like you know everything about it, everything is going to start sounding boring and not good enough, and you're just going to go into the abstract kind of weird lane that's hard for most audiences to relate to. Now, some of us, that's what we like, and like I said, if you're that kind of a producer that your genre depends on sound design, then you need to learn sound design, obviously. But for hip-hop, R&B, soul, whatever instrumental type of music that you like to produce, Most of the time, it's not necessary to be good. And in fact, most producers actually leave the sound design to other people, and they leave the mixing to other people. But that's some people. Again, knowing a little bit like what reverb does and delay and just basic filters, envelopes, it's gonna help you. But again, you don't want to sacrifice too much time doing that. I mean, unless that's a goal of yours, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, anyways, overall, there are benefits to both, obviously, to both learning sound design and to buying presets. But the main point is that buying presets will save you time, whereas sound design, it's very overrated for most people. Most people really think that they need to know a lot. Personally, again, it's just something that has been on my mind, and that a lot of people ask me for sound design videos, which I will eventually do. But that was just to kind of clear that up, and to kind of give you guys a different perspective. That's kind of the whole point of this video, or this series that I'm doing, where I'm answering these kind of questions. So let me know if you have any other suggestions or any questions. And if you did enjoy this or learn something, go ahead and leave a thumbs up below, and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.